Hi all, welcome back. Today we're going to move on to two other types of deductions that are taken out of an employee's wages. And the first one is called PRSI, which stands for Pay-Related Social Insurance. And that's taken out of wages, and it's taken by the government in order to pay things like social welfare and old age pensions. And then the other one is the USC, or the Universal Social Charge, and really that's just another type of income tax. It can again be used to pay anything really the government needs to pay. So they're calculated in a particular way. The PRSI is very straightforward. It's just a percentage of your gross income, so it's a lot more straightforward than income tax. And the universal social charge is a little bit different. There are different percentages, or I suppose tax rates if you like, for different amounts that a person earns. And we're going to look at question 11 in your textbook here, or question 11 part 2 first of all, and then we'll move back to question 11 part 1 also, just to demonstrate how you calculate the PRSI and the universal social charge. So the question 11 part 2 first, it says Connor is an apprentice radiologist who earns $26,000 per year, and we're asked to calculate how much PRSI and USC Connor pays for the year. So let's start with the PRSI. We can see that the rate is 4% of your gross income over 18,304. So it's only 4% on anything that you earn over and above 18,304. So let's start over here, and just call it PRSI. And the first thing we'll have to do is see how much money Connor earns over and above 18,304. So Connor earns a gross income of 26,000, we saw already. And if we subtract the 18,304, we'll find out how much Connor earns over and above. So that's 7,696. Okay. And then it's 4% of this is how much PRSI Connor pays. So 7,696 multiplied by 4, and if we get 4% of that, it works out to be 307.84. Okay. So that for a start is Connor's PRSI. Then if we move on to the USC, there's a little bit more to calculating universal social charge. So first of all, we see that there are several rates for universal social charge. And the first one is 0.5%. That's half of 1% for anything that Connor earns up to 12,012 euros. So since Connor earns far in excess of 12,012 euros, that means Connor will pay this full 0.5% of 12,012 euros. So first thing we do is we say 12,012 at or multiplied by 0.5%, and 0.5% is 0.005. So 50% would be 0.5, 5% would be 0.05. So 0.5% is 0.005. And if we get 0.5% of that, it's 60 euros and 6 cents. Okay. Now, just for instance, it's 0.5% on any monies that people earn up to that. So if somebody had a pretty low income, we'll say, and they were earning only 6,000 per year, then they would pay 0.5% of that 6,000. And that would be it. They wouldn't pay any more. We wouldn't move up to the other brackets. That would be all they would pay. Now, since Connor earns more than 12,012, well, he pays 0.5% on his first 12,012. Next, he's going to pay 2% on his next 7,862, provided that this and this together don't exceed the 26,000 that he earns. So we can see already that 12,000, 7,000 is only 19,000 and something. So it's not going to exceed the 26,000. So it means Connor will pay a full 2% of 7862 also. So if we just write that down here, 7862 by 2% is 0.02. And if we get 2% of that, that's 157.24. Okay, so the next part is we've seen Connor's paying 0.5% on his first 12,000, 2% on the next 7,862 that he earns, and he's going to pay 4.5% on the next 50,000 that he earns. But Connor, we can see, like, he earns 26,000 in total. There isn't going to be a next 50,000. So really what it is 4.5% on the next 50,126 or part thereof. So what we need to do first of all is see how much more Connor earns above and beyond the 12,012 and the 7862 that he's already being taxed on. So what we really need to do is to take these two aside and add them together. If we add them together, we get 19,874. Okay, and then we need to subtract this from our 26,000. So 26,000 minus 19,874 gives me 6,126. So Connor earns 12,012 plus another 7,862 plus another 6,126. That's his total earnings. So he can't pay tax on money that he hasn't earned. So we can't get 4.5% of 50,000 and charge Connor that. The only other monies that he earns above and beyond this and this is the 6,126. So that's what we charge Connor 4.5% of. So getting 4.5% of that is 275.67. And then to find the total amount that Connor pays in universal social charge, we must add the three of these together. And if we add them all together, get 492.97. And that is Connor's total universal social charge. Okay, so just to look at it for part one, look at Susan's PRSI and USC. Again, if we start with the PRSI, well, the rule says that it's 4% that you pay on any gross income over 18,304. Well, here we see that Susan only earns 18,000 per year. She doesn't earn anything greater than 18,304. So in fact, Susan doesn't pay any PRSI. Okay, so then the next thing is Susan's universal social charge. And by these rates here, anybody who earns anything will pay some amount of universal social charge, but how much they pay will depend. So again, it says 0.5% up to the first 12,012 that the person earns. Well, Susan earns over 12,012, so she'll be paying that full first amount that we have up here. It'll be exactly the same. On her first 12,12, she'll be paying 0.5%, and that will come to €60.06. Okay. Then after that, it's 2% on the next 7,862. So we want to check, does Susan have a next 7,862? So what we do is we take what Susan earns in total, subtract her the 12 that we've already taxed, and if we subtract them there, we get a figure of 5,988. And we can see that that is already less than this 7,862. So it'll be, again, just like we said with the 50,000, it's 2% on the next 7862 or part thereof. And if the person earns less than the full amount in this bracket, then you don't go any further afterwards. So it's going to be 5988 multiplied by 2%, or 0.02, and that gives us 119.76. And so Susan's total USC is 179.82.